The Skyfall.
The glow of my homeworld hung in the void before me, a blue-green jewel framed by the stars. It had been 7 long years since I had last seen it, before the invaders took everything from us. Now I was no longer a refugee but a soldier, a warrior about to descend with humanity's finest into the fires of liberation. I adjusted the neural interface of my mech, Athila, the name a whisper of my people's language. The interface tingled at the base of my skull as it calibrated itself to my thoughts. Humans had a way of taking a concept and refining it into something practical yet profound. My mech was no mere war machine. It was a reflection of my race's gifts, precision, analysis, and adaptability. Its sleek frame, built to resemble the lithe forms of my kind, bristled with weaponry designed for precision strikes against enemy armor and vehicles. The massive bolter rifle rested across its back, its 20mm explosive shells ready to punch through even the thickest plating. The missile array on its shoulder gleamed with readiness, loaded with an assortment of warheads for every possible foe. I flexed my hands, watching as Athila's graceful limbs mirrored my movements. The thrusters on its back hummed softly, eager for the drop. Around me, the human orbital shock assault corps were preparing, their form-fitting exosuits glinting in the dim light of the drop bay. They moved with a confidence and ease I had grown to admire. Though they had welcomed my kind as equals, it hadn't come without challenges. The training had been grueling, designed to push us beyond our limits. Humans valued decisiveness in battle, a trait my people, steeped in endless deliberation, had struggled to master. But we had learned. I had learned. The drop timer on my HUD ticked down, each second bringing us closer to the moment of truth. 7 months of battles across the stars had led to this. We had liberated colonies that once belonged to my people, shattered enemy lines, and pushed forward, always forward. Now we were here, at the edge of my world, poised to free it. The comms crackled to life, breaking my reverie. It was the commander. He began to hum, a low, steady melody that sent a shiver through me. The tune was one I recognized, though it had been nearly forgotten by my people. 7 months ago, during our first battle together, I had slipped and begun to sing it aloud over the comms, my nerves betraying me. Instead of mocking me, the humans had embraced it, turning it into a tradition. Now, as the hum spread through the drop bay, it was joined by others, a chorus of human voices resonating in perfect harmony. This was my cue. My voice, steady and strong, rose above the hum, carrying the words of an ancient war song from my nearly lost culture. Around me, the other pilots of my kind joined in, their voices weaving together in a haunting melody that spoke of loss, hope, and the unyielding resolve to reclaim what was ours. The humans continued to hum, their respect for the moment palpable. The timer hit 0. The drop bay doors opened, and the vastness of space rushed in. One by one the pods launched, streaking toward the surface below like falling stars. My turn came, and with a final breath I leaped into the void, Athila's thrusters igniting as we plummeted toward the planet. The wind screamed against the shield, the atmosphere burning bright around us. Through the fire and chaos I held onto the song, my voice unwavering. Below, the enemy's defenses came into view, a sprawling network of fortifications, walkers, and tanks bristling with weapons. But we were ready. As the ground rushed to meet us, I spoke aloud, not to my allies, but to myself and to my people. I am not a refugee. I am a warrior. Today we will see our world free.
We who run.
Kayla stood nervously at the front of the classroom, her hands gripping a sleek alien material podium. Her human skin so soft and unarmored compared to the exoskeleton scales and fur of her classmates, prickled under the multi-species gaze. The Interstellar Community Academy was the most prestigious school in the galaxy, hosting students from dozens of species across the known universe. Kayla, the only human, was both a curiosity and an enigma. She had learned to endure the stares, but presenting on humanity's hunting practices to a room of herbivorous and omnivorous species was a challenge she hadn't anticipated. The holographic projector hummed to life behind her, displaying Earth's sprawling savannas. Kayla took a deep breath and began. "Good morning," she said, her voice clear but edged with nervous energy. "Today, I'll be discussing the unique hunting practices of humanity, the only known species from a death world to join the interstellar community." There were murmurs. Death world always sparked unease. Most species hailed from garden worlds, safe, stable planets with mild ecosystems. But Earth was a volatile, dangerous place, teeming with predators, disasters, and environmental extremes. Kayla gestured to the hologram, which shifted to a pack of humans running through golden grasslands, spears in hand. "Humans evolved as persistence hunters," she explained. Unlike most predators, we didn't rely on speed, strength, or venom. Instead, we used endurance and strategy. Our ancestors chased prey, often animals much larger and stronger than us, until they collapsed from exhaustion. The room went silent, save for the quiet hum of the projector. A Carathian student, covered in soft blue feathers, raised a clawed hand. "Are you saying you ran them to death?" Kayla nodded. "In a way, yes. Most creatures evolved for short bursts of speed. Humans, on the other hand, are uniquely adapted for long-distance running. We sweat to cool ourselves and can regulate our breathing independently of movement, allowing us to outlast even the fastest prey." The hologram shifted again, showing humans tracking a wounded animal for hours, their eyes scanning the ground for signs of passage. "We also developed unparalleled tracking skills," Kayla continued. "We could read the land, broken branches, displaced soil, even subtle shifts in scent, to follow prey over vast distances. It was a test of patience, intelligence, and resilience." A hulking Dravaxian with gleaming scales leaned forward. "But why? Why not rely on weapons or traps like other species?" Kayla smiled faintly. "We didn't have a choice. Early humans were physically weaker than most predators on Earth. We couldn't overpower them, and our weapons were primitive. Persistence hunting was our way of surviving in a hostile world. It forged us into what we are today, toolmakers, strategists, and problem solvers." The hologram shifted to a collage of Earth's iconic prey: antelope, bison, mammoths, and even apex predators like lions, which humans sometimes competed with for kills. "Our prey ranged from small antelope to massive megafauna like mammoths," she said. Each hunt was a collaborative effort, relying on teamwork and communication. It wasn't just about survival, it was the foundation of our social structures and culture. A slim insectoid student clicked its mandibles. "And what happened to these animals? Did they survive your arrival?" Kayla hesitated. This was the hard part. Some did, many didn't. As we advanced, our tools became more effective, and we became the dominant species on Earth. It's something we've struggled with, the balance between survival and sustainability. Today, humans work to preserve the ecosystems we once exploited. We've learned from our mistakes. The room fell quiet again, the alien students processing the weight of her words. Finally, a small reptilian Hressian raised its voice. "Your methods are unsettling, but I see now why your species is so resilient. You were shaped by struggle," Kayla nodded. "Exactly. Our death world forced us to adapt in ways no other species has. Persistence hunting was just one part of that. It taught us to endure, to think ahead, and to rely on each other. Those traits define us as much as anything else." As she finished, the hologram faded, and the classroom buzzed with whispers and exchanged glances. Kayla stepped back, her heart still racing, but a flicker of pride warmed her chest. For the first time, she felt her peers truly understood what it meant to be human.
The Impossible Colonies.
The chamber of the Interstellar Council was a grand testament to the galaxy's diversity. Towering crystalline structures shimmered with ethereal colors. Fungal colonies pulsed with bioluminescent hues, and aquatic tanks bubbled gently, housing representatives from waterborne species. As Ambassador Kirvax of the Thraxan Collective, I had seen eons of debate unfold in this very hall. Yet the discussion today was unprecedented, a disruption of millennia-old truths. At the center of the chamber, a human representative stood, a mere 2 meters tall, clad in a simple suit of earth-grown textiles. His name was Elias Clark, and his presence here was an anomaly in itself. Humanity was late to the galactic stage, barely a century into interstellar contact. Their technology was primitive by our standards, their biology unimpressive. Yet their actions had upended everything we thought immutable. "Ambassador Clark," I began, my voice resonating through my vocal glands in a low hum, "it is not our custom to doubt the reports of member species, but the claims your kind has presented, they defy all known logic. A barren world with no atmosphere? Habitat domes built using outdated technology? And you thrive there?" Elias smiled, an expression humans used frequently, though its nuances often eluded me. "Thrive might be a bit generous, Ambassador Kirvax. But yes, we've made it work. The trick wasn't in what we had, but in how we used it." I exchanged glances with my fellow delegates. The Herrick's aquatic envoy gurgled a skeptical response, their bioluminescent tendrils flickering in doubt. To thrive in conditions utterly alien to your physiology, you claim ingenuity alone suffices. Impossible. Even the most advanced species here require worlds similar to their origin planets. Precisely, Elias said, spreading his hands in what I had learned was a gesture of openness. You're constrained by that need, by the idea that a planet must cater to you. We don't see it that way. We adapt the planet to us. This notion was heretical. The Interstellar Council had long operated under the truth that colonization was dictated by biology. Desert species sought deserts, aquatic species water, and so forth. To hear humanity dismiss this axiom so casually was unsettling. You misunderstand, I said, leaning forward on my chitinous legs. Our civilizations have evolved over millions of years, perfectly attuned to specific environments. The cost of altering an entire planet to suit our needs would be prohibitive, irrational. Not if you think creatively, Elias countered. Take Alpha Centauri's Savannah world. We built hydroponic systems for food, developed solar-based energy networks, and engineered shelters to regulate temperature. Sure, it was tough, but once the foundation was set, we didn't just survive, we built a thriving society. And the barren world? The crystalline envoy, or Len, of the Lithar Collective spoke, their voice resonating like wind through a canyon. No atmosphere, no resources. What possible logic drove you to settle there? Elias laughed softly, a sound I had come to associate with amusement rather than disrespect. To prove we could. It was a challenge, and humanity thrives on challenges. We used modular habitats powered by fusion reactors and brought everything we needed with us. It wasn't about convenience, it was about possibility. The chamber fell silent. For eons, the Council had believed in the limits imposed by biology and environment. Humanity's actions were not just an anomaly, they were a paradigm shift. If a species as young and technologically inferior as humans could do this, what did that say about the rest of us? I see the doubt on your faces, Elias said, his tone softening. But understand this, humanity doesn't see limits the way you do. We look at a barren world and see potential. We look at challenges and see opportunities. If that makes us strange, so be it. But maybe it's time the galaxy started thinking the same way. The delegates murmured among themselves, and I found myself grappling with a question that had never occurred to me before. For eons, we had adhered to a system of colonization rooted in tradition and biology. Yet here was humanity, tearing through those boundaries with sheer determination and creativity. Was it possible that our adherence to the truths of the past had blinded us to greater possibilities? As the debate continued, I couldn't help but wonder if humanity, with all its imperfections, could colonize the stars without regard for limits. What else had we been wrong about?